Next thing you need to do is memorize the 6 most common chords in all of guitar music. 80% of songs use primarily these 6 chords. It's crazy how common these chords are, especially when you put a capo on your guitar. So the chords that you need to memorize are G, E minor, C add 9, D, C, and A minor. So let's go through it one at a time. So you can see on this chord chart here that the E minor chord, we have an open 6 or E. I'm going to start calling these by their letter names because it's good to try to remember what they actually are on note names. So if you need to remember that, just look at the paper and you can see they're labeled. But anyway, on my low E string, it's going to be open. On my A string, it's going to be the 2nd fret with my 2nd finger. On my D string, it's going to be the 2nd fret with my 3rd finger. And then the G, B, and E strings are all open. So one string at a time, you should sound like this. And that is called E minor. Please do not ever call that EM or M. That is E minor is how you say that chord. The next chord that you need to know is G. So G is a little harder. We have to actually use all 4 fingers. So let's start at the low E string. We will have our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret. On the A string, we will have our 1st finger on the 2nd fret. On the D string, it's going to stay open. The G string is going to be open. The B string, we will have our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. And on the high E string, we will have our pinky on the 3rd fret. So it should be 3, 2, open, open, 3, 3. And it should sound like this. Next is our C add 9. So I'm not even going to move these 2 fingers for C add 9. For C add 9, it almost looks like a G. We just kind of shift these 2 fingers up a string. So you see that X on the low E string? That X means do not play this string at all for this chord. So it's going to be no low E string, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, open G string, 3rd fret B string, 3rd fret high E string. So altogether, you get this. Beautiful chord. I love the C add 9 chord. It's very pretty. Just like E minor, please do not ever call that CAD 9. It's not CAD 9. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's C add 9 is how you say that. Anytime you have a chord, the first letter is almost always said by itself. And then everything else is just kind of the formula that you apply to the letter to get whatever the chord is. So C add 9, E minor, etc. The next chord we're going to look at is our D chord. So you can see on this chord there are 2 X's. So we don't play the low E or the A string. Then we have that O on the D string. So we play that open. We're going to have our 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. We're going to have our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And we're going to have our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the E string. So you get this. Just like that. Okay. Our next chord is going to be the A minor chord. So the A minor chord has no low E string. The A string is open. The D string, we're going to have our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. The G string, we're going to have our 3rd finger on the 2nd fret. Our B string will have our 1st finger on the 1st fret. Altogether, you get this. Oh, that's an open high E. I don't think I said that. Open high E. And then for our very last chord, our C chord, a really good way to get into position is to have this A minor here and then just move your ring finger from the 2nd fret of the G string to the 3rd fret of the A string. So for your C chord, you should have no low E string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the A string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the D string, open G string, 1st fret, 1st finger on the B string, and open E string. So altogether, we get 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. Just like that. So I highly recommend that in order to memorize this, you use some kind of flashcards of some sort, or you have someone else, you just tell them, hey, these 6 things, just call them out randomly. So that'll be E minor, G, C add 9, D, A minor, and C. So I have some flashcards that I've made, a little product that I have for sale at the studio. If you want to buy some pre-made flashcards, you can buy those from me. But getting a partner or making flashcards yourself works fine too. Just whatever makes it easiest to learn these, try to find a way to drill them by name. You want to know these by name because as soon as you know that, then I can say, hey, let's play G, D, E minor, C add 9. And you can just go. And you can very quickly learn new songs that way. All right, best of luck memorizing these, and I'll catch you in the next lesson.